It's a beautiful day here in the French countryside in the west of France near La Rochelle. Let's see if you recognize l'Abbaye des Sablonceaux. It's a 1,000-year-old abbey, now run by, I don't know who it's run by actually, but you've got a nice house, you've got a nice building, you've got a driveway, and if I pan round in a nice sunny day, there's a nice entrance, nice and lopsided, the kind of inimitable sign of a nice old building. And what we're going to do, we're going to go sit on the wall next to the river, and I just want to talk about a few things, because I think we all have the urge to express ourselves, to be understood, to communicate. It's probably one of the most human things. There is heartfelt communication between people and fuck all else. So I just want to express myself, and I've not made a video for many weeks now. Well, a couple of weeks anyway. So what I'll do is, let's see. First of all, I just want you to soak up the beauty and the peace and quiet of this area here. Forgive my camera, the image stabilization hasn't worked for a while now. I shouldn't really need to have to say that each time, but you know, I'm insecure like everyone else. So there's the little thing, and let's see if I can, let's try, put the camera on there, sit there, and see if we can chit-chat. Let's have a little chit-chat. I don't know if this is going to work, if it's too high or too low. Yeah, it's too low, so I'm going to pick it up. Pick up the camera. I guess I'll get the difficult part out of the way first. I'm in France because, yeah, I'm not with my children right now, and I'm not going to go into a sentimental explanation. People break up, and I have nothing but love for my children, and I'll be seeing them as much as I can very soon. I just felt I needed to come and see my parents, and as well the mother of my children. Nothing but respect for her. She's always going to be the mother of my children. Like, to me, that's a blood relation, so ultimate respect, like I would for a sister or a mother. You know, that's, life is hard, and sometimes things don't work out. But not to kind of keep, like, let's not be miserable here. There's always positives, you know. There's two beautiful children I have that have really taught me more than 5 years of love policing or everything is okaying or YouTubing. I just want to talk about, like, how the world, and this isn't any particular individual, this is all of us, myself included, as a human being. There's a lot of insanity going on, and it seems to be accelerating quite badly. There's a few worldwide things, things which a lot of the viewers in America will be seeing directly. The massive riots and protests that are happening because the American police have been killing quite a few unarmed people. And I'm not going to get into the details of the exact incidents. You all know what I'm talking about. Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, the 12-year-old boy with the replica gun who never got any warning. The police just basically drove into him, fired bullets into the little boy. He's a preteen little boy, and police firing bullets. And whichever way you look at it, I'm not going to be like the media and inflame this. I'm not going to be Fox News and inflame that. I'm not going to be partisan in this, because look, anything you kind of say, unless you're talking about reconciliation and love and the kind of true emotions. Can you just excuse me a second? I need to put my gloves on. It's about 1 degree. 1 degree Celsius, which I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. What is it, 40? Just excuse me a second. But in these shootings, in these killings, these chokings, where the coroner says it's a homicide. You know, American police, like, I hope any police in the world aren't allowed to choke you. These are people's children. These are teenage people. These are fathers. These are mothers who are suffering. And you can either say that people are asleep or that they're momentarily insane. But I've seen this myself. I mean, I've dealt with police in a few countries. NYPD, Toronto PD, Metropolitan Police in London, Greater Manchester Police, Edinburgh Police, Scottish Police Force, what's it called, the Lothian and Borders Police Force, I think. And of course there's great people in the police who actually do want to protect and to serve and to save lives and to stop violence. But I've been saying this for a few years now, that I think policemen and women, police officers, need a lot of spiritual counselling, a lot of psychological support above and beyond what I think they're offered. Because if your job is to go into junkies' houses and you see people abusing children, you see rapes and rape gangs and people who murder each other, if your job is to turn up at murders and there's blood everywhere, guts, you tend to have a very low opinion of humanity. And you know, I don't know, like if it's the same in Britain and America, you got crack dealers shooting each other, people selling heroin to vulnerable mothers, you've got people selling heroin to kids, and you're a policeman, your job is to stop that. And then you're carrying that rage, that anger, that hatred around with you. And I don't know what the solution is. Is it make them listen to spiritual teachings? Do they need more church? Do they need to come to Sablonceau Abbey? But in all seriousness, you know, my God, like, you know, the reason I came here is like, there's never any human beings here. I'm in the absolute middle of nowhere. And then I start filming and there's like heavy traffic coming past. But I don't know, like the words, the new age words that I sometimes use, the universe, the totality, these are rehashings of words like God and things like that. And you know, kind of meditation, is that the same as prayer? Probably. And so I read a great thing recently, I can't remember, was it Francis? I was on the Big Think Twitter feed, and it said the true mark of originality isn't novelty, it's sincerity. So I guess all I can be is sincere. And you know, having dealt with detectives in the UK, I've made a video about the true detective that I like, and he told me, you know, he'd suffered a breakup with his wife and he wasn't able to see his children as much as he wanted to, and he said that suffering creates empathy, suffering creates sympathy. And I don't know, I don't think anyone should suffer, but we all will. Life, unfortunately, you can't appreciate the smooth without the rough. You can't appreciate the happiness without the sadness. And you know, I've had a look at the demographics of my viewers. 96% of you are men, and the majority of you are aged 30 to 60. So you're adults, you're you know, men and women, but you're mostly men and you're adults. And I'm sure a lot of you have suffered a family breakdown. A lot of you, like myself, have suffered from depression and that horrible existential fear of what the hell am I doing with my life. I'm sure a lot of you, like myself, are applying for job after job after job after job after job because you don't feel happy, or the results of what you're doing aren't enough to support your kids, and financial stress creates more problems. So this video is a meditation, it's a prayer for all of you. And another car goes past. And you know, I came out here thinking I'll talk about hundreds of things. I'm going to be so excited. I'll throw my arms around. I'll use my you know, I've been perfectly sober now for 10 days. You know, no drinking, no smoking, clearing the head. And I thought, wow, my kind of productivity will increase. But just give me a second. Give me a second while I think here. I have many religious friends, many friends who would class themselves as spiritual, and also just as many friends who would call themselves pure skeptical scientists, you know, deniers of anything wishy-washy or wooey, the woo. And I think there is a way to reconcile everyone's beliefs, and that is through love. And Carl Sagan, the cosmologist, said, it's a quote from his that became very popular, that for small beings such as ourselves, when faced with the kind of vastness of infinity of interstellar space, 13.7 billion years in any direction, the only thing that can make sense of it is love. And I don't mean romantic love or kind of passionate love, like, oh my god, I love you so much, I need to consume you. I mean that kind of gentle, platonic, familial, you know, family love for people who are there for you, who you want to be there for them. And, you know, here's where, like, I guess humility comes into it. Because I could have done so much more with my YouTube channel to help people and tell stories, but like everyone else, maybe like you, the viewer, we get lost in ego. And when you feel like you're under attack, when you're traumatized by attack and you actually believe it's real, you don't recognize it for the pain of others projecting onto you, you actually think, oh my god, I'm a piece of shit. People saying I'm a piece of shit, I'm an asshole. I'm a bad provider, I'm a bad father, I'm a fucking asshole. You take that on board, and then you feel the need to defend yourself, and it's just adding to the madness, the insanity, the pain, the cycle of pain. What Eckhart Tolle would call pain bodies communicating with one another. And you know, part of me feels that that experience is inevitable. The word inevitable is a scary word for the ego. But once you try and realize that you're not just an ego, you're something a lot more sacred, then the word inevitable becomes, I guess, inevitable. My dad lent me his sunglasses. And isn't that a sad thing how, for learning, you learn when you have to learn. If you don't have to learn, if you're born rich, if you're born good looking, if you're born in a big ass house and your whole fucking trust fund set out for you, you probably won't develop very much. And that is sad in a way, but in a way it's also not sad, because time, what I've learned from prayer, from meditation, time is a learning tool. And Einstein said time is something that's there so that everything doesn't happen at once. And in time, everyone will know. You know, everyone will know. I mean, in my kind of more meditative moments, you see the infinity of everything. You see the eternity, how the only thing which is real is eternity and love and the kind of true compassion and forgiveness of the universe. But then here in the moment, I need to get myself a studio flat. I need to get a job. I need to pay rent. I need to try and see my children as much as I can. And these are very painful. And, you know, like, whatever gives you strength in a kind of genuine, compassionate, loving way, whether it's your family, your music, your work, your videos, your prayers, your church, your synagogue, your mosque. Let me sit down. And I need to be careful not to sit on my dad's glasses, okay? Or fall in the river. And like, you know, like over the summer, and also recently, I've been covering the protests at Kadem, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but in fact, no, let's keep him safely and gently anonymous. There's a guy who I've filmed before. He's a very active protester. He's an activist, and his heart's in the right place. And we were on Market Street in Manchester. And we ended up having a massive argument and swearing and cursing and threatening each other. And he almost read my mind, because I took the bus home and I felt dirty, I felt nasty. I said, Charles, what kind of fucker are you to swear at this guy who's only here because he believes he's doing the right thing? Just like you, he's exactly like you. He believes he's doing the right thing, just like you believe you're doing the right thing. Truth is somewhere in the middle. And so people are angry and upset, just like I am or was angry and upset. But you know, throughout history, or look at the 20th century, 21st century, bombing and killing and warfare and airstrikes never works. It makes things worse. You know, the kind of bastard child of Al-Qaeda and Iraq killing is ISIL, the Islamic State. Look at Russia, for example, you know, like 50 years of Cold War and nuclear standoff. We now have a KGB agent as the president. You know, the only thing that can ever change the world, and like, okay, I use the example of Northern Ireland, troubles for decades, killing, children dying, people being executed by the police, by the SAS. You had Bloody Sunday, you had rage and rape and killing and murder. And the only thing which created peace in Northern Ireland was when the enemies sat down, spoke and shook hands. And I saw in the Guardian newspaper, there's an interview with Sir Peter Fahey. He's like the kind of boss policeman in Greater Manchester, which is, in my opinion, probably one of the busiest police forces in the UK. And he was talking about the example of Kedem, the shop on King Street in Manchester, you know, where the pro-Israeli protesters or sorry, the against, anyway, you know what I mean, the kind of pro-Palestinian versus the pro-Israel crowd. And I think if I can contribute something as a way to kind of atone or kind of redeem myself from the kind of adding to the madness of it, you know, if I can try as a neutral guy, trying to be neutral, sit down with the Jewish community and sit down with the kind of pro-Palestinian community and sit down, and they'll probably find that the things they have in common far outweigh the things they have apart. They can shake hands, they can maybe hug and realize that, as people have said throughout history, we're all on a very difficult, painful path. Everyone's life is full of suffering, as well as happiness and love, but suffering and craziness and misunderstanding. And the only thing, you know, like I used to think forgiveness, well, yeah, I mean, this shows you how immature I am, or was. Forgiveness, I should say, how can you fucking forgive killers and rapists and so forth? And it's that same energy that policemen have when they kill and they fucking fight and they chokehold people. But people have known for thousands of years that a weak man retaliates, a weak man seeks vengeance. And the strong man, the strong human being, the strong woman, seeks reconciliation and understanding. And you know, everything is a semantic issue, whether you're a scientist or whether you're spiritual, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim. Oh yeah, one more thing as well, I thought of interest. Because, you know, everyone's in the Judeo-Christian world, we're all so familiar with the kind of peaceful passages of Jesus and so forth. But I typed into Google, I said, peaceful passages from the Quran, the Muslim book of faith. And fair enough, the Quran is full of merciful forgiveness, the power of love, the power of being as strong as your Creator, and how forgiveness will save the world. So it's not religion per se, it's people. People in our madness trying to follow these things. And seeing as we're all having a very difficult time, as well as a good time, come on, I'm not going to end this on like an, oh my God, it's all terrible. It's both. It's both. You know, hug your family, turn your enemies into friends, or turn them into neutrality. There's no need for anyone to fight. This world is a beautiful place. There's enough for everyone. And it's our egos, our animalistic side, and our insanity which creates division. And so, from this moment forward, if we can work towards reminding everyone about the beauty of love, of God, of existence, and, you know, in a kind of on the scientific side, the process that maybe began with the singularity, where you cannot use maths or physics to understand it. And that process that began 13.7 billion years ago, you are still connected to that. You are an ongoing process of that. Ongoing. It's an ongoing thing. So I'm here to learn. I think you're here to learn. And as I speak into my video, it's a catharsis for me. I connect with you. I cannot see you in the screen right now, in my lens, but you're there, and thank you for listening. I feel the urge to communicate, and with love, with a lot of love, and I mean genuine love, not fake love that you see on wherever. I mean with real love. So thank you.